You know what's completely nuts? Most people are convinced you need a sprawling orchard or acres of land to grow your own fresh fruit. They think if you live in an apartment, a condo, or a house with a tiny yard, you're stuck buying sad, week-old fruit from the grocery store forever. But I'm about to show you 10 trees, and I'm using that term loosely for a few of them, that will not only survive, but thrive in a simple pot on your balcony, patio, or driveway. And these aren't just ornamental. They will produce more delicious fresh fruit than you can possibly eat. Stick around, because number 7 on this list is so productive, it literally pays for itself in a single season. And that bonus tip I'm saving for the very end. It's an absolute game changer. It's the one thing that separates frustrated container gardeners from those who get massive results. Hey there, garden friend. Welcome back, if you've been here before. And if you're new, you have just stumbled onto the most practical, budget-friendly gardening channel on all of YouTube. I'm so glad you're here, because today we are talking about something that honestly changed my entire approach to growing food at home. We are diving deep into container fruit trees. And trust me, this isn't your typical boring, just plant a lemon tree kind of video. We're going to get into the why and the how. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor. If you are serious about growing your own food, saving real money on your groceries, and doing it without spending a fortune on fancy gear, hit that subscribe button right now. And here's the thing. Turn on those notifications. I drop videos every single week, packed with secrets that will save you money and help you grow better food. You don't want to miss them. All right, let's get into it. Let me start with something that'll completely blow your mind. Number 10, the pomegranate revolution. Pomegranates in pots? Sounds complicated, right? Sounds like something you'd see at a fancy Italian villa, not on a third-floor balcony. But here's the kicker. The secret that most people don't know. These trees are practically indestructible. I'm talking about the true dwarf varieties like Nana or State Fair. These aren't just pruned down trees. They're naturally small, and they are absolute beasts in containers. What makes the pomegranate so special for pot growing is its natural root system. Unlike a maple or an oak tree that wants to send roots out to find the next county, pomegranates have a more compact, fibrous root structure. They are perfectly content in a 15, 20, or 25-gallon container. And here's your first budget hack. Where do you get a 20-gallon container? You don't go to the garden center. You go to a local restaurant, a bakery, or a deli. Ask them for their empty food-grade buckets. Those giant olive, pickle, or frosting buckets. They are perfect for pomegranates, and most places will give them to you for free just to get rid of them. Drill some drainage holes, and you have a perfect home for your tree. The fruit you get from these container varieties is just as good, if not better, than the full-size ones. We're talking deep, ruby red arils. That perfect, sweet, tart flavor. One established tree will easily give you 15 to 30 full-sized fruits per season. Go look at the price of a single pomegranate at the store in October. They're $3, sometimes $4 each. You are looking at saving $50 to $75 a year, and that's a conservative estimate. But here's my favorite part, the part that makes it perfect for beginners. Pomegranates are incredibly drought-tolerant once they're established. You can forget to water them for a few days, and they'll forgive you. They're native to arid regions. That is huge for busy people or for those of us who are, let's just say, less than perfect with our watering schedule. It's a tough, productive, and beautiful plant that just doesn't ask for much. Number 9, the fig that changed everything. Figs are where things get really, really interesting. Most people don't realize this, but figs, they actually prefer being slightly root-bound. Let me say that again. They like having their roots crowded in a pot. When you put a fig in a container, you are accidentally giving it the exact conditions it loves. When its roots feel confined, the plant panics. It thinks, I can't grow bigger, so I must reproduce. And the result is a massive explosion of fruit, often earlier in the season than a tree in the ground. You want to look for varieties like Petite Negra, Brown Turkey, or the legendary Chicago Hardy. These aren't just smaller trees. They are specifically bred to produce heavy, heavy crops in confined spaces. I have seen a single Chicago Hardy in a 15-gallon pot produce over 100 figs in one season. That is not an exaggeration. Here's the other beautiful thing about figs. They fruit on new growth. This is a critical piece of information. This means that even if you're in a cold climate like Chicago or New York, and your tree dies back to its base over the winter, it doesn't matter. It will grow back from the roots in the spring and still give you a full crop of fruit that same year. You cannot say that about an apple or a peach. And here's a little trick that'll make you look like a gardening genius. During the fruiting season, stress your fig tree just a little. Let the soil get almost completely dry between waterings. This slight drought stress concentrates the sugars in the fruit and makes the figs taste absolutely incredible. It's like nature's candy, but you made it happen. Fresh, high-quality figs at the store, if you can even find them, will run you $6 to $8 for a tiny plastic clamshell. Your potted fig tree will produce fruit so rich and jammy, it makes those store-bought ones taste like cardboard. In comparison. Number 8, blueberries that actually work. Now we're getting into something truly special. Blueberries are, in my opinion, probably the most successful and profitable fruit you can grow in a container. But most people mess them up because they don't understand one simple critical thing. Blueberries are divas. They are incredibly picky about their soil pH. Here's the deal. Blueberries must have acidic soil, somewhere in the 4.5 to 5.5 pH range. Your regular garden soil, it's not acidic enough. Regular potting mix, not acidic enough. This is why people plant them in their backyard, and the plant slowly turns yellow and dies, and they give up. But here's the hack. When you're growing in a container, you are the god of that soil. You have 100% control. You don't have to amend an entire garden bed. You just have to fill one pot. So you go to the store and you buy a bag of potting mix for acid-loving plants, like an azalea and rhododendron mix, or the budget way. You mix your regular potting mix 50-50 with peat moss or pine bark fines, and suddenly you are giving that blueberry plant its perfect world scenario. Look for varieties like Top Hat, Pink Icing, or Peach Sorbet. These are specifically designed for pots. They stay under 3 feet tall, they have gorgeous fall foliage, and they produce heavily. A single mature blueberry bush in a 10-gallon pot can give you 3 to 5 pounds of berries per season. Have you seen the price of organic blueberries lately? It's insane. You're looking at $5 to $7 for a half pint. Do the math. One mature plant is giving you $40, $50 worth of fruit. That one plant pays for itself and all its supplies in the very first year. But here's what truly makes blueberries brilliant for containers. You can move them. If it needs more sun, you roll the pot to a new spot. If a late frost is coming, you can tuck it against the house or throw a blanket over it. That flexibility is worth its weight in gold. Number 7, the lemon tree secret. Okay, everyone knows about Meyer lemons in pots. It's the classic patio fruit tree. But let me tell you why they're on this list and why they're so important. Meyer lemons are naturally semi-dwarf, which is great. But more importantly, they are ever-bearing. That is the key. Ever-bearing means you can have fragrant blossoms, tiny green baby fruit, and full-sized, ripe yellow lemons, all on the same tree at the same time. It is a continuous, year-round grocery store in a pot. One established Meyer lemon tree in a 20-gallon pot can produce 50 to 100 lemons per year. At $1 to $1.50 per conventional lemon in the store, you can see where I'm going with this. This tree isn't just a plant, it's a budget-slashing investment. Here's the part nobody talks about, though. Lemons in pots are actually easier to keep alive than lemons in the ground, especially for most of the country. Why? You control everything. Is it getting too cold? You bring it inside near a sunny window for the winter. Are pests like scale or spider mites showing up? You can isolate and treat one container, not a whole orchard. Soil issues? You chose exactly what went into that pot from day one. And let me tell you something that'll save you money right now. Stop buying that expensive citrus fertilizer in the tiny, colorful bag. It's a marketing gimmick. A good, balanced, organic fertilizer works just as well, if not better. I use a liquid fish emulsion, which you can get a giant bottle of for $15. I feed my tree every 2 weeks during the growing season. It costs me pennies per feeding, and my lemon tree is absolutely loaded. The smell alone, the smell when these trees bloom is worth the price of admission. Your entire patio or living room will smell like a citrus grove, and there is something so deeply, fundamentally satisfying about walking outside and picking a fresh lemon for your water or your dinner. Hey, quick pause here. We're halfway through, and we've already covered some heavy hitters. If you're getting value from this, if your mind is spinning with possibilities for your own balcony, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It seriously helps the channel reach more people who want to grow their own food. And drop a comment below telling me which of these trees you're most excited about. I read every single comment, and I love hearing what you're planning. All right, let's keep going because the next few are even better. Number 6, dwarf peaches that overdeliver. Peaches in a pot. I know it sounds impossible. It sounds like a joke. But modern breeding has given us varieties like Bonanza or El Dorado, and they are specifically bred for container life. They are phenomenal. These trees stay around 5 to 6 feet tall. They are self-pollinating, meaning you only need one. And they produce full-sized, juicy, delicious peaches that taste better than anything you will ever buy at a store. Here's why peaches are so important on this list. Stone fruits, peaches, plums, cherries, have a reputation for being finicky. They get diseases, pests attack them, and a late frost can wipe out your whole crop. But growing a peach in a container flips that script. That late frost coming? You haul that pot into the garage for the night. Is peach leaf curl a problem in your area? You can cover that small tree or move it under an eave. Are birds becoming a problem? You can net a 6-foot tree in 5 minutes. Try doing that with a 15-foot tree in your yard. One dwarf peach tree will give you 20 to 40 full-sized peaches per season. Organic peaches at the store run $3 to $4 per pound. You're looking at serious savings. But forget the money. The taste difference is unreal. Store-bought peaches are picked rock hard and underripe to survive shipping. Your peaches ripen on the tree until the last possible second. The juice running down your chin when you bite into a tree-ripened peach you grew yourself. That is what this is all about. The real trick with peaches is thinning. When you see the tiny baby fruits forming, you have to go out and remove about half of them. This is the hardest, most counterintuitive thing for a new gardener to do. It feels wrong, but you must do it. This makes the remaining peaches grow bigger, sweeter, and way more flavorful. It also keeps the branches from snapping under the weight. It's one of those things that feels wrong but works perfectly. Number 5. Cherries without the ladder. Dwarf cherries, specifically the sour or pie cherry varieties from the University of Saskatchewan, like Romeo or Juliet, are absolute game changers. Sweet cherries, like Bing, can be tricky. But these pie cherry varieties are bulletproof. And honestly, they're so sweet, I prefer them for eating fresh anyway. What makes cherries so special in containers is that you, the small space gardener, immediately avoid the single biggest problem that every single cherry grower on Earth faces. Birds. Birds will strip a 20-foot cherry tree bare in an afternoon, the day before you were planning to pick them. It's heartbreaking. But when your cherry tree is a 6-foot bush in a pot on your patio, you can walk out, throw a $5 piece of bird netting over it in 5 minutes, and your harvest is 100% protected. That, right there, is why container cherries are a smarter choice for most people. A mature Juliet cherry in a pot will give you 10 to 15 pounds of fruit per season. That is enough for fresh eating, baking pies, making jam, and still having some to freeze. Store-bought cherries are crazy expensive, often $8 to $10 per pound in season. Your one container tree is producing fruit that's worth well over $100 every single year. And here's something beautiful about these cherries. They bloom early and gorgeously, before your tree even thinks about fruit. It's giving you these stunning clouds of pink and white flowers. It's ornamental and productive. Number 4. The apple that fits